TV out there. And my first guest is a fellow Texan, Hollywood superstar, who starred in more than 60 movies during his 5-decade career, from Breaking Away to The Right Stuff and The Parent Trap to The Day After Tomorrow and my favorite, A Dog's Purpose. I could watch it every day. Please welcome Dennis Quaid, who joins us in Cyber Hall from his home in Los Angeles. Dennis, I was actually just talking about different TV shows and movies to watch to help you pass the time. A Dog's Purpose, I think I could watch every single night. Love it.
Thanks. And A Dog's Journey. Right?
And A Dog's Journey. You know, you never realize, I'm sure when you make a film like that, how often people will turn to it for comfort. And certainly we didn't see this kind of comfort being needed.
Yeah, no kidding about that. And by the way, with A Dog's Purpose, Dog's Journey, we're going to make a third one. That's what I hear.
Really?
Yes, it's all going to take place in doggy heaven.
Oh, well, that's something to look forward to on the other side of all of this. So
Same here, yeah.
How are you guys holding up? How are you and the family holding up?
Well, you know, being an actor, I think that we're more trained for this than a lot of the population, because we do a job for a couple of months and then you'll have several months off in between, not knowing what your next job is going to be, so you know what to do with your idle time.
I know you're quarantined with your fiance, Laura. You were supposed to have your wedding, and it's been delayed as a result of this crisis. I'm sure that was a tough decision, but one you had no choice to do.
Yeah, we were supposed to be married April 4th, actually, in Kauai. We had to put that off. And Craig T. Nelson, actually the actor, he has a beautiful place there. He was going to let us get married in his house, and we had all the the wedding planners and the invites and all that, and we had to put everything on hold. But we've had some wedding nights, not a wedding day, and we were going to.
Oh my God!
And we're gonna get that wedding day going as soon as we pop out the other end of this. But probably not in Hawaii, maybe in the middle of the country.
A lot of people have been talking about wedding nights and a lot of bonding, shall we say, amongst couples. We may see a baby boom out of all of this sadness, a whole crop of cuties popping up here. You've talked openly about the age gap between you and Laura. How old is she again?
She's 27.
And you are 60?
66 as of last week.
You know, my parents were 27 years apart. Mm. And in fact, people used to always ask me when to see my grandfather. That's the age gap I grew up in. But I say that to say,
it's all good fun.
There's always this assumption, that people have of what will you talk about if the woman is older or the man is older, the age gap, what could you have in common? So here you are in the quarantine. I'm sure there have been conversations that you've had related to the age gap. What have you learned has benefited your relationship, and what are the things that you feel maybe showed some differences that aren't problematic, but are different?
I really don't know. It's just like we hardly really ever talk about it, and because we haven't noticed it, in our relationship, to tell you the truth. So that's really been the thing. Is just that we're just two people that really fit so well together, and we're not going to argue with it. She's this beautiful person. We just fit. Yeah. That's all I can say. I didn't go out looking for somebody younger than me. And it's just the person that God had walked into my life.
I love that you put it that way, because you know what? Part of this pandemic really does reset us to not get caught up in these labels and in these things, rather we should be looking for that unconditional love, or that love, as opposed to a checklist that someone is supposed to fit into.
Right. It's just what is. Everybody should follow their heart.
Yeah.
That's what I've always believed in.
You followed your heart into podcasting, the Renaissance.
2 years ago, I had never listened to a podcast. And my now partner, Jared Goodstad, used to be called Jingle Jared, he invited me to be a part of this music podcast called The Bear and a Banjo. And it was so much fun to do, and it did so well that we decided to create a podcast platform. And the flagship of that is my show called The Denisance, which is an interview show. And it's basically people that I've met in my life and really gotten to know. I interview them to find out what makes them tick.
I love that. We always say around here, everyone's got a story, so let's talk about it. And I think that's fascinating that it's an interview show from your perspective, which includes a recent hospital visit to the ER, I'm told, in the middle of all of this craziness, not related to COVID-19. You ended up in the ER. What happened?
I was cleaning out the garage because you do all those things, you know, at the beginning of the quarantine that you've been meaning to get around to. So I cleaned out the garage, and I wound up with from a little cut, I guess, a staph infection on this finger here, and I had what I thought was a kidney stone, and I had to go back out again. So it was like I went 3 times in 1 week to the ER, and with those people down there, the medical workers, they're doing such a great job. One of those things that what can go wrong will go wrong. I'm all fine and dandy.
I do want to ask you, Dennis, about Hollywood and where things stand. I know a film project you were working on put on hold, the Ronald Reagan project. You are a Hollywood icon. You are a legend. You've locked in tons of movies that are unforgettable. What happens to Hollywood at this point? Those freelancers, those people who are behind the scenes, those up and coming actors, now that everything is on hold?
It's impossible with the rules being what they are, and of course, just to be safe. I can't remember anything like this. And starting back up, there's a real need for content. People are going to want their shows and their movies, and so it's going to come back, and it's going to come back strong.
We will come back, and we will enjoy more films from you and many of our other favorite actors. So, listen, I'm happy you have this podcast, happy you were able to talk with us, wishing you nothing but health, and I can't wait to see, I guess, the wedding when it does happen.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Follow your heart. I like that.